finally, the Premier League season starts up again tomorrow with Liverpool versus Bournemouth. However, we have some more pressing matters to attend to before that happens, and that is, of course, our fantasy Premier League teams. There have been some rule changes this year that are going to kind of change the way people look at fantasy Premier League this year. I'm going to let Luke talk about these because he's a bit more clued up on them than myself. So let's
Go for it.
start away.
Yeah, yeah. So there's some very interesting ones, and I'm going to go through them. Not all of them, but the key ones that are going to matter for the most players. So let's run through those. Massive one: defensive contributions finally getting some recognition. This is going to
I
be a
like
big
this one
one.
a lot. I really do.
Yeah, yeah. I think for too long, people have been picking four fullbacks and no
Yeah.
centre defensive midfielders, which doesn't really feel
With the
right.
exception of Gabriel last season, I suppose.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I mean, when he can score as many headed goals as that,
Yeah.
prime Terry right there. But no, so the way that will work is you will get 2 extra fantasy points for every 10 combined actions, which they consider to be crosses, blocks, interceptions, and tackles. The player who would have benefited most from that last season, they say, was Tarkovsky. With 42 additional points
Yeah.
that he would have earned, as then second place would have been Caicedo for Chelsea. It's nice to see our man getting a bit of recognition there. So hopefully a few more picks for the defensive midfielders and things like that.
Yeah.
So that is probably the most like revolutionary change that's going to actually change the way people
Oh yeah,
pick the
for
teams,
sure. For sure.
I would say. But there's some other very interesting changes which will change the complexion of the whole fantasy Premier League season. So let's jump into the rest. Again, not going to cover them all, but the next ones I would probably brings people's attention is the chips. So wild cards, triple captains, things like that. Instead of being limited, to one of those uses per season, you will get now one per each half of the season. So 2 in total. The assistant managership won't be a thing, so there'll be none of having David Moyes on the bench, I'm afraid. Sorry, guys.
Damn.
But yeah, so that will definitely add a layer of tactical sort of, an additional tactical element for sure. And then there's a few others like the updates to the assist rule. Deflected passes, if it's only one inside the box and it's not necessarily for the intended target, they will get it just purely because they've made a dangerous pass inside the box.
I like that one as well, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. I think players, when you're at the byline and you're putting a dangerous ball in, you should get rewarded for that, provided there's not like a pinball effect in the middle and loads of
Yeah,
touches.
I think it's as long as it's not intentional, isn't it, from the defender, which just makes
No, I
sense
think
anyway.
it can be either. I think it can just be like any.
No,
touch.
I mean, if let's say I cross the ball and the
Just
defender
like
tries to
foot
play a
goes in
ball
or
away, and
whatever.
then
Yeah. And so those will now be awarded, which is quite a nice thing. There will be some other tweaks to the bonus point system, which will be like 3 points for goalkeeper saves inside the box and things of those natures. So some very interesting tweaks to the system, which have impacted my selections. I don't know about yours, James.
Yes, I have got a couple of players in actually that I would probably not have had last year. By the way, there was a moth flying around here. I don't know if you've just seen that.
No, we don't need to know about your pets over there. So,
but yes, no, I've got a couple of players I would not normally have picked. I think there's a midfielder in there that I wouldn't pick usually.
Like you said, like your defensive type midfielders, for example.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you'll see. It's not necessarily.
This is quite a nice segue because I'm actually, we haven't seen each other's teams. We wanted to kind of reveal them to ourselves on for the stream. So I'm very interested to see what we've gone for. I think there'll be some overlaps, but I'm sure we'll have a good number of differences. I'm hoping so, at least. Otherwise, it'll be very awkward.
Are we starting with me? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's tell you what. Roll through your team. Explain to everyone why you've picked them, and then I will critique it or praise it, depending on what you've gone for. And then I'll go.
You no doubt will critique it. That's your favorite thing to do. Okay. Yeah. As you can see, I've gone for Sean Dyche 4-4-2 here. So I went for Sanchez in goal, mainly because of there's a couple of reasons actually. His price tag was one of them. Obviously, Chelsea have not signed a keeper yet, so I'm pretty sure he'll be the starting keeper. But also, Chelsea have got really favourable fixtures at the start of the season. So for me, that was kind of an easy choice for the first few game weeks at least.
Not going to lie, I didn't expect it, but Chelsea have kept a lot better defensive record, especially in the last sort of 10, 15 games than people give us credit for. So that's a shrewd pick.
To be honest, defensively last year, clean sheet wise last year, I think he had 10 as well. So he's,
yeah. No,
it's not a bad pick, I don't think, there.
Defenders?
And then, so I've got Nico Williams and Murillo from Forest. Again, their fixtures at the start of the season are really good. And we know that Forest are going to set up defensively. Especially Murillo will favour from this defensive contributions.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Rule that's
I'm
just come in.
somewhat surprised you didn't go for Milenkovic instead of Murillo, actually, from Forest.
Yeah, to be honest, it's probably going to change. That one is. There's a couple in here that are not fully locked in before the deadline tomorrow. He was one of them.
That you were teetering on the edge.
Yeah, and I'll talk about the other one in a minute. There's kind of something else I was going to do, but we'll get to that in a minute. And then I've gone for Frimpong. To be honest, this was only because Bradley got injured before the Crystal Palace game, and I don't think he will start the season. I really thought that Bradley would be the starting right back going into the season.
Interesting.
But he kind of got a little bit of a knock and then missed a couple of pre-season games in the Community Shield. So that's why I've gone for Frimpong.
He's had an impact, hasn't he? He's not been too shabby in pre-season.
And in pre-season, he's been really good. He obviously scored a goal that was meant to be a cross the other day, but nonetheless, he got a goal.
Has he been starting as a right back, though? Because there was some talk about him starting as a winger as well.
Yeah, I think that's mainly for when Salah goes to AFCON, though. I think Slot's kind of sees him that he can play both, and I think that's kind of one of the reasons we brought him in. But I think predominantly he will be a right back. And even if not, I mean, if he plays as a winger, that only favours me because he'll be further up and he'll be contributing probably more than what he would.
You get a winger
and he gets defensive contributions because he's defensive anyway.
Sure.
So I think Frimpong's kind of an obvious choice there, to be honest. I'll be surprised if many people don't have him in the team. And then Wan-Bissaka again for the defensive contributions. I think he's one of the best.
Yeah, we know he's a great tackler
for that in the league.
That's a fair shout.
And then this is kind of where it gets a bit interesting because I was either gonna go for Salah and Ekitike, as instead of Wirtz and Haaland, but I went for Wirtz and Haaland. So because I've still
as your main sort of higher value players.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it was either going to be Haaland or Salah, you're not going to have both. And
it
was who I put in with them. Obviously, Haaland would have to be replaced with a striker, and Salah would have to be replaced with a midfielder.
Yeah. No, I see that.
I think we kind of touched on it briefly earlier in our player predictions, but we don't kind of see Salah. Both of us don't really see Salah getting as many as he did last year, and I can see Wirtz kind of actually doing better than people think. So I've gone with him. And then Palmer, I think he's going to have. I mean, he's consistent. What can you say? Yeah, he obviously had a few months in the FPL season last year where he didn't do quite as well as he did the season before. But I think, as we again said in the player predictions, we think, I definitely think Palmer is going to be utilised a bit better this season. I think.
I agree.
Kind of figured out his how to fit him in a bit better into the team. So I think he will obviously benefit from that in terms of goals and assists. Bruno Fernandes was one mainly because of his £9 million price tag, and
he's going to get a certain amount.
You would have to think that he could only do better, because if Man United do worse, then I'd be surprised this season.
The only thing I worry about with him is it looks like Anarim has seemed to have pushed him back into a 6 role rather than as a 10.
Yeah, but then he'll get more defensive contributions as well.
Well, yeah, I suppose so.
It's one of them.
Yeah. He's just never been great on that side of it. I really don't like that move from Anarim. I think Bruno's one of the best 10s in the league. Yeah. And you're going to throw him straight back, further back the pitch. It's slightly...
it is a weird one, to be fair. And he was one of the other ones that's not entirely locked in. So, Murillo.
Yeah. No, I can see the logic, though. I mean, the guy gets his fair share of assists and goals, to be honest. Penalty taker as well, I believe. So, I wonder if Seshko will be taking that. But
it'd be Bruno for sure.
You'd think so, wouldn't you, as captain?
And then Elliot Anderson. this one was pretty much mainly because he nicks a goal and assist every now and then. I think he got 2 goals, 6 assists
And he's
last
good on the
season.
defense as well.
And he wins the ball a lot. So he probably will benefit from the Seabird quite a lot. And then I think most people in the FPL have Haaland and Pedro. To be honest, it's kind of the obvious 2 strikers to have. And obviously Haaland's my captain because it kind
You've
of
got to, and yeah. If you're picking him as your main scorer, it makes sense to have him as your captain, I suppose.
I want to point out here though, I didn't have Haaland in my team at all last season. I don't know if you can remember.
And so we actually differed because I thought he would pull around last year and still become the top goal scorer, and I kept waiting and holding him in.
Yeah. We should actually.
I was going to say he did get a good number of goals, but it just never quite happened for him as much as it did the season before.
We should mention here that I started the league late last season, and I still battered Luke in the league.
yeah. New season, new rules. Let's see how we go. There's some interesting picks I wouldn't have expected here, though. I mean, Joao Pedro, you've only got 2 Liverpool players, no?
Well, let me talk from my bench, and then we'll.
Yeah, sure. Okay, go on.
Dubravka's kind of the obvious £4 million goalkeeper this season.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure everyone's gone. I think he's like 78% player picks this season now.
Yeah, he's solid choice.
Reinders I went for again because he's a midfielder.
He nicks a goal. He got 2 in pre-season the other day.
Do you know he got 10 goals for Milan in the league last season?
No, he knows where the goal is. He's certainly he's got an eye for goal, that kid. So he's a worthy pick in the mid there.
And yeah, again, defensive contributions, and I think he scored 2 actually in the preseason game. I think it might have been yesterday. Or
he did. I think it was a few days back, but yeah, he did. He got two goals in the preseason. So again, for City is continuing.
I can see him being a little bit like. Can you remember Gundogan a couple of seasons back? Where
yeah. He got those late runs into the box.
Exactly. I think Reinders will be similar. And then I've got Esteve, however you pronounce his name. Again, £4 million. He's guaranteed to start at Burnley. And I should add that obviously Burnley, I think, broke the record last season in the Championship for most or least ever goals conceded in a season.
Yeah. No, they had a Chelsea 04-05 type season and built it around defence.
Exactly, yeah. So I can imagine if they bring at least half of that into the Premier League, which I still doubt, then they should get a few points off that.
And you've got to go for some cheaper options, so I kind of like the logic at least. So
yeah, of course. And then Mark Guiu, I think he's from the £4 million or £4.5 million strikers that are available. I think he's probably the most likely to get minutes.
He's going to be. So I think he will. I think he will get a lot of game time for Sunderland, and this kid is a lot better than people think. He was scoring a lot of goals for us in the Conference League last year. People might say, "Oh, great! Well, fantastic Conference League," but the guy's still young. I think given a lot of game time, he will develop as well. And I think he knows where the goal is. Very hard working. So, yeah, good potential shout there. I can see him getting at least playing, which guarantees you a few bench points.
Exactly. But yeah, overall, again, you just fill the bench with cheap options.
Yeah, but to be fair, Reinders and Dubravka are good for bench options. And the other two, at least they're probably likely to start there. You've not picked a few guys who are never going to see the pitch. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fairly strong.
Like I said, there's a couple of players that are potentially not locked in, but I'm pretty sure this will probably be what I'll go into the season with. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Any points before we move on to your team?
No, I mean, the one thing I was going to say is it just 2 Liverpool players?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I was very, very surprised to not see Salah in your team, I'll be honest. This is where it's going to be interesting when we go through our teams. But
do you know what it was? If Wirtz would have been 10 million, I would have gone for Salah. But Wirtz was 8.5, and it's like
8.5 is a good entry. I think by the end of the season, they sort of incrementally increase the price. I think he could end up being like a 9.5, 10 mil by the end of the season, potentially, if he does as well as we think he might. Okay, cool.
But yeah, no, just the 2. Again, I was toying between Ekitike and Salah.
2 Chelsea players, a couple of City guys in there, a couple of Arsenal. Yeah, I like that. It's fairly rounded. You've not gone.
There's actually not a single Arsenal player in this team.
Have you not got any? Oh, not going. Oh, okay.
Only reason being is because their starting fixtures are terrible.
Yes. Yeah, I see the point. Point. Okay, interesting.
So the chances are there will be Arsenal players after the first few weeks. But their fixtures are just too they're too bad at the start for me to put Arsenal players in, I think, at the minute. So
Fair shout. I think
let's
on that
move on
one,
to
let
yours
me.
then.
Yeah, I'm very excited to share my team here. So here it is. I've gone for a non Sean Dyche like level 4-4-2. I've gone in fact for what would be
Oh, you've
4-5-1.
done the opposite. You went with the Salah approach this year.
Yes. So let me go through back to front.
Okay, go on.
So goalkeeper Petrovic.
Mhm.
I think this guy. Well, I think first of all, Bournemouth are likely to obviously face a lot of shots, so save points might be there.
Yeah.
And I think this guy was very very special for Strasbourg last year. Well overperformed his save xG. Won their Player of the Season.
Yeah.
Got a hell of a lot of clean sheets. Different league, different team, but I think this guy's is potentially in line to make a lot of bonus points.
Yeah, save bonus points will be a
Yeah,
big one, I suppose. Yeah.
100%. And I still think, and although Bournemouth have lost a good few players in the back, they've just brought in the defender from Lille. I think it's Diakite, is it?
Diakite,
So
yeah.
replaced one of the two outgoing centre backs. They've got Truffert, left back for
I'm
Kirkes.
interested to see Truffert.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
heard good things about him, so
So
I'm quite excited
they're
to see him.
rebuilding the back line, and I think you've got to trust Bournemouth's manager and recruitment team. So I'm hoping that they'll still keep enough clean sheets to make him a viable pick in the back.
Yeah.
And we'll have to see how it goes. But really, really rate Petrovic. Could be a shrewd pick there, I think. And then I've gone for Gabriel and Lewis Skelly of Arsenal. Primarily because I just think, well, the first game is Man United, so they've got a clean sheet to start the league anyway.
I mean, I see this one differently, but yeah.
But no, I just think Arsenal will probably be the best defensive team again, or I don't know if they were last year actually. To be fair, but they were still up there for clean sheets.
Yeah, I think Raya and Sewell shared it. I think.
Yes. So and again, Gabriel gets the goals, and Lewis Skelly is likely to get an assist or two as well, potentially a goal. So I think they're out of the Arsenal back line, possibly the two best. I don't normally like going for two in the same team, but I just have a feeling if it's going a bit pear shaped, I'll get rid of the one or one of the two. But starting off with both of them, and that's them. And then we've gone for Munoz, Crystal Palace. Absolutely electric. Great. Gets up and down. Got an assist in him. Got a little goal in him as well. And
I like
did very
Munoz.
well.
I like him a lot.
Yeah.
In
They
fact,
did very well.
obviously the Community Shield was on Sunday. He put on a great ball for I think it was Mateta or Eze. And it was literally on a plate for them. If
Mate, this is what I mean.
A toe over extra length and would have been in the back of the net. It was great.
He's the sort of guy that you can see going to like a City or somewhere else in a year or two, in next year or so.
It's just his age. It's just his age that lets him down. I think he's 28.
Is he? I don't know. Is that?
I might be wrong. I'm sure he's. I'm pretty sure he's 28 though.
But yeah, I mean, I think we both agree he's a sort of electric fullback.
Yeah.
Got a good amount of bonus points there. Starts against Chelsea though, so perhaps I might have waited to put him in, but there we go.
Yeah.
And then finally rounding out the back four with Porro at Spurs, Pedro Porro.
I like that, and I'll tell you why as well. Because obviously we've just watched the Super Cup, and it looks like he might be on free kicks as well.
Yeah, not only that, but he's great with delivery. He's got a really good delivery. He's got a good amount of athleticism. I think Frank will certainly have his team playing a lot more exciting and getting a few goals from the wing there. So, I think there's a good potential that he will do well. I might have even been inclined to pick Udogi.
Yeah,
but I think he's injured.
Yeah,
he's injured. So
he's always injured.
Yeah. So on the back of that, I'm picking Porro, and I think that's 3 fullbacks and a centre back. So even though the new defensive contributions are in, I've only got one centre back, which is a goal scoring centre back. So
you have got someone in midfield
dying hard. Yeah, but yeah. So that's my back five, and then this is where it gets very interesting. So I've actually gone opposite to you. I've gone Salah.
I'm happy you did this though, because this makes it more interesting.
We had no idea. I'm surprised actually, because you've not gone Salah, and even though I said he might not get as many, I still expect probably 30 goals and assists.
I think GA combined he might get the most, but he won't have the most of any individually. If that makes sense.
Yes. So I think Salah building the team around him, and then of course both of us went for Palmer. I think it speaks for himself. If
Oh yeah,
he really kicks on and doesn't have a dry spell, this guy's going to be pushing it
especially
with
because he's
Salah.
only 10.5.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
ten
not
and a
like
half.
crazy like 13, 14. He's only 10
Yeah,
and a
yeah,
half.
yeah. And I think so, the reason I picked Haaland instead of Haaland is because he's like 14 mil, isn't he? So
Yeah, he's, yeah.
even though it's only another 1.5, that can make a difference in the team. So
Mm.
I've decided to split it with Salah, Palmer, and then I've gone Caicedo. I've put him in there for the defensive contributions, and I think he does
I think he
get.
would have got 41 points defense, so that would have
Yeah,
put him on
yeah.
like I think 130, 140 last season. That's not
One
bad.
thing people think as well, they just think of him as like a destroyer, whereas he has like a progressive carry in an assist, maybe even the odd goal in him as well.
Mm.
So I think he might get a few more points than people realize this season with the new format change.
No, I can see that. I can see
So
that.
Caicedo, and very cheap as well, 5.5 mil, I think it was. I
Yeah,
think that
five and
could
a
be a
half for
steal.
Caicedo. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So yeah, and then other than that, my other two in the sort of midfield five would be Eze. Could even be playing
He
for another
was in
team.
mine, and I took him out because of that. I don't know where he'd be playing.
Well, nonetheless, I
I
think
mean, it looks like
wherever he goes,
Spurs at the
yeah,
minute.
yeah, I think
So
he'll be starting there. So Eze, I think there was a good. I mean, it's that spot in the midfield I could have changed up for a lot of different players, but
yeah,
I just liked him for the price he was at. I thought he was a good pick there. And if he goes to, for example, a Spurs or an Arsenal,
yeah,
his price tag could look very cheap as well. So
yeah. I agree. I agree.
um, cool. And then Verts,
Yeah, we
I do
spoke
believe in
about Verts.
Verts.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think this kid's in for a good debut season. And 8.5
hope
mil, I
so.
thought you got to get in early because I think he will go up in price pretty
Yeah,
quick.
yeah. I agree. I
So
agree.
my two Liverpool players, Salah and Verts, and that's
Hmm.
the top, well, the top of my midfield all there. And then finally, just the one striker in Joao Pedro. I think we both like the
Yeah,
look of what we've seen so far. The kid's on fire. 5 goals in 5 games.
yeah. If he
Looks
carries any of his
insanely
preseason and
clinical.
Club World Cup form,
100%. And what I like is he's scored all types of goals, like outside the box, header, clinical, kind of inside the box finishes. So besides the left foot, he's pretty much had them all.
yeah.
Um, and I expect him to start because of his electric form. I think he's going to be starting at least for Chelsea. So yeah, that's the team. And then on
Hmm.
the bench, I had to go for a dead keeper. I'm afraid, Pesci from Bournemouth.
I would. He's fourth choice, mate. I'm going to help you out here. Take him out.
Yeah,
Just put
uh,
Dubravka in.
I don't know how I'm going to afford that because other than that, I've got Milenkovic from Forest.
Dubravka's four is cheaper. Is cheapest you can get.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay, yeah, I'll have to have a look at that. Like we say, I think for anyone watching, we're recording this Thursday just before the season starts, so we have
yeah,
the ability to change it just before.
yeah.
So that's might be one I have to look at. But yes, so Milenkovic, I think he can slot in and any game week.
Yeah,
To be honest,
I'd be tempted if I was you. Again, I don't want to be helping you out too much, but I guess I can. As putting Milenkovic in for either one of the Arsenal centre backs or Munoz at the start.
yeah, you know what? It's one of those though. You overthink it. You put in the players based on probability, and you know
Mm.
what? Milenkovic will end up having a stinker, getting a red card, and Munoz will score, get an assist.
Yeah, good point.
Well, based on the probability, what you're saying is correct for sure.
I like the
Um,
Costulas shout though. Yeah.
yeah,
By the
yeah,
way, has he been bought to replace Pedro? Is he a
yeah.
striker? Yeah. Okay, I
Yeah, it's
thought
like a
so.
deep line forward, like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
9.5, if you like.
Okay.
So yeah, Costolas and Mark Guiu as well.
Yeah, we both got Giu. I think,
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
said,
yeah.
is probably the
So
option.
I think all of those besides the keeper will change actually, to be honest. But I think Milenkovic, Costolas, and Guiu will all get game time,
Mm.
and there's a bit of maneuverability there
I
starting
like
week to
Costulas to be
week.
fair. I didn't even look at him, but there's
Mate,
definitely an argument
I
for.
know no one knows this guy, and I've only seen highlights, but he looks like he could score a few. He's a very good striker of the ball.
Mm.
Seems to be quite smart. Can come deep for it. Can go in behind as well. I think he'll definitely get a game time knowing Brighton. And
Yeah.
to be honest, I just trust their scouting system, and I'm pretty confident this guy's gonna at least
Yeah,
get some game time
with their
and
scouting
make an
system,
impact.
you just trust it. It's actually it's interesting because there are teams where you don't even have to know the players to sign,
Yeah.
You just know the club and you just know that you can trust them.
To be fair, it's Brighton are the number one, but even recently, Bournemouth have been getting some great. I mean,
Yeah,
Hoyson and Zabani in 1 year, and then selling them a year after,
yeah,
plus Kirkez as well. Like,
yeah. Kirkers, yeah,
absolutely on fire with that.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, so I think Costalla's 30 million. They don't just drop 30 million on anyone. Brighton, I think they know
yeah.
what they were doing with this guy, and I've seen, like I say, little bits, and the eye test kind of matches that. Obviously, highlights are highlights, but I think this
I agree.
guy's got potential. So yeah, I think Guy, I know about as a Chelsea fan. I think he'll definitely get some game time.
Yeah,
And so, other than the keeper, I think that's a pretty strong team. To be fair,
yeah, yeah. And I like that they're, in fact, pretty much entirely different. So we'll see.
and the only players I think we have similar are Palmer and Verts and João Pedro.
Yeah, yeah,
I
literally.
believe so. Yeah, I believe so. Which is
Oh,
interesting.
and
I am
Guiu.
very. I was, as a Liverpool fan, I was fully expecting to see a Van Dijk or a Salah in there.
Van Dijk was in there at first, but he got replaced for Frimpong, just because I think Frimpong goals and I mean, it's one of them. We kind of said at the start we got this
Yeah,
DefCon
yeah,
thing
yeah.
now,
It's
but
hard until you know how the new sort of points systems are gonna actually look game week
yeah,
to game week.
you
Maybe
kind
that
of go with
will.
what you trust at the start, and it's
Yeah,
one of them.
yeah, exactly. You got to go tried and true, haven't you?
Yeah,
But yeah, so teams, we've ironed our teams out.
yeah,
I think we're gonna have to go on to explain our. Well, obviously we have a double pivot league, which we'll share
yeah.
the code with
So
in
I'll
the
read it
description
out,
box.
but I'll put it in the description as well. So it's lowercase o, 6 lowercase f 6 lowercase e y. So
Join the league.
that's obviously a public league. Obviously, yeah, we want to encourage as many people as possible to join the league and see if they can beat particularly me, because yeah,
Yeah, we need some
last season
competition.
I walked it with Luke. I'm not gonna lie.
This is it, 100%. No, no, no.
um,
I've got all to prove this year. I'm going to be on the
yeah,
hunt. It's going to have
and
to be a strong start from both because
and
we've got.
obviously we're introducing the forfeit thing.
Yes, yeah. So as an added layer of fun,
Yeah,
we will be introducing a forfeit system between us two each week. The lowest scorer will have to spin a wheel or hit the button on a digital randomizer.
yeah, probably be digital. But yeah, the idea is that we'll have some kind of wheel that we spin. On the wheel could be something like you have to change your captain to the lowest point scorer of the previous game week, or I don't know. I choose
Player from a rival club.
Luke's next transfer if he finished below me that week, or just stuff like that to make it a bit harder.
Yeah, a little bit more
It kind of
engaging.
seems weird, doesn't it? Because you're making it harder for the person that got less points, but I feel like
Yeah,
it just
well, that's
adds
it. You shouldn't do
this
terrible. Yeah, yeah, exactly,
adds a bit of
exactly.
competitiveness, and it adds a bit of a strategic
An
layer
added
as well.
layer, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, for sure. And we definitely, well, if we've got a number of forfeits in mind, but if there's any interest in forfeits along those lines, like choosing the next week's captain for the opposite person, for example,
yeah,
uh, whack them in the comments. We will genuinely, if there's a good suggestion there, I don't think we've got anything against popping it in the randomizer, and you never
yeah,
know, we might be doing your forfeit. So
yeah.
please feel free to do that. And yeah, we'll make
And
that
of course,
interesting. And
if we do pick any of them, then whoever suggested it will bring up on
yeah,
screen,
shout out. Yeah,
and
100%. Yeah, let's make it a
yeah,
community feel, get a bit of engagement there, and we'll definitely feed it back.
yeah. But
So
that,
yeah, forfeit system, that'll be something we're running this year on the channel as a bit of an interesting overlay.
yeah,
So keeping in an eye out for that next week once this week's concluded.
yeah,
But to be fair, I think that
yeah. I think that does it for
more or
this
less
one, doesn't it?
concludes us.
Yeah,
Apart from, of course, last just to reiterate, really, join the league. We'll put the code
yes,
in the description. So in case you missed it just there, check the description box below.
hmm,
Um, and we look forward to seeing you. We've got a few people joined already. We want to get as many people as possible, get your teams in.
yeah,
And if you win the season, who knows? We may very well introduce some kind of little scheme, a prize scheme. A current favorite option is to buy a jersey of your choice from your team, or
yeah,
maybe a retro kit. But something there just to sweeten the deal.
yeah.
If you think you
Some
can
kind
beat
of
us,
incentive.
yeah, if you think you can beat us, go ahead and try. Join
Yeah,
the league, and we'll see how we go.
yeah.
But anyways, that's all I need to say. And James, unless you got anything else you wanted to add?
No, I think that'll do it for this video, to be honest. So yeah,
Looking forward
as
to the season. We've done enough of these videos now, man.
Yeah,
This is going to be nice.
I'm so excited the season's back, to be honest. It's been hell.
I mean, I've been lucky with the Club World Cup, which I know you didn't watch, but yeah, for you, I bet you're itching to see Liverpool tomorrow, smash Bournemouth.
I am.
Potentially.
Yeah. And we're actually on holiday tomorrow, so that'll be interesting. Because we
get a few berries in on the beach. Yeah, why not?
A few berries on the beach while we watch Liverpool versus Bournemouth.
All right. Anyways, guys, as always, thanks for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you in the league, and we'll catch you on the next one. Appreciate it.
Cheers.